Hi guys, and welcome back to Fallout 76, and today we're going to look at the upcoming patch for PS4 and Xbox One, a patch that has gone live on PC. So there is quite a bit to this, so we got to go and have a look. Our latest patch for Fallout 76 provides fixes for many issues that were affecting perks, weapons, crafting, and more. Check out the full list below, don't mind if we do. The patch version is 1.0.4.13 and comes out on PlayStation and Xbox. The 10th for PC will be the 14th. Monday the 14th will be available for PS4 and Xbox. And the patch comes in at about 4 gigabytes in size. So for PC, it was only 500 megs. It'll cost us 4, but look, I don't mind. Provided the patch isn't the size of the game itself, and it's an overall positive patch, then I really don't mind. Let's get into it. So, general. Power armor. The power armor light has been made brighter. Great. I didn't know that it needed to be, but I'm not going to say no to a brighter power armor light. Great. Priorities, people. Performance. Several improvements have been made to the in-game performance. Awesome. Yeah, come on, that's so badly needed. And before I even comment on it, we'll look at stability as well. The Fallout 76 game client and servers have received additional stability improvements. Look, I love Fallout 76. I'm having so much fun with it. Coming up with new and interesting ways to pass the time in Fallout. But oh, it is so frustrating to be constantly disconnected. During my live stream the other day, it was 3-hour live stream. It was like nearly on the hour. Every hour I'd be booted out for some reason or other. It was frustrating as hell. So, next we look at balance. Oh, so we're going to rebalance a few things, are we? So first we're looking at the charging barrel mod. Increased the Gatling laser's damage bonus from the charging barrels mod. I don't use the Gatling laser. I did pretty early on, but I don't anymore. But cool. Maybe I'll unpack that bad boy and check her out. Glowing ones. Oh no. Glowing ones were granted large boss XP rewards, making them highly exploitable when combined with nuclear. I did not feel like that was an exploit. I genuinely thought that was part of endgame, you know? Oh, that's sad. That's where I go for my XP grind. That's where I farm my XP, you know? White Springs gets hit, you kind of circling around from the golf course, work your way around up into the houses, back around. You know, everyone has their own path. That's a sad one. We're gonna put a sad face on that. Crafting. Lowered chance of power generators of spawning fusion core. That sentence seems wrong. Lowered chance of power generators of spawning fusion cores. Whatever. I guess what that is the power generators you just find out in the world that happen to have a fusion core in them or not. I personally didn't feel like that was an issue, considering there's 20-odd something people on the server. Okay. Crafting. What? No, hang on. Power generator spawning fusion cores was in crafting. And I really don't know what that's about. If you do, let me know there in the comments, please. I'm lost. Maybe they've mislabeled it, or maybe something is happening in game that I'm just not privy to. So next under crafting, we've set the minimum component cost of workshop buildings requiring steel, wood, or plastic to 2. Cool, I guess. Bobby pins. Reduced the weight value of bobby pins from 0.1 to 0.001. Awesome. Thank you. Social. Teams. Players now receive a notification that players cannot form teams from within Vault 76. If an invite is sent to a friend, still in Vault 76. Didn't know that was an issue. Systems. PvP. Opening player-owned, locked containers will now be considered a PvP action as expected. I honestly didn't know that was an issue as well. I lock everything. Well, nearly everything. And the reason I lock it is I assumed if someone tried to pick lock it, that would be considered a PvP action. I don't engage in PvP enough to have seen that it wasn't happening as expected, but I guess it wasn't happening as expected, so cool. Bug fixes. Stability and performance. First, for the Xbox One, performance. Blowing up the mainframe core stations will no longer cause a performance drop rate. PC, infinite load. Fixed an infinite load screen that would occur when attempting to join a server on PC. Great. Crash. Fixed a crash that can occur when opening the Pip-Boy. Yeah, you really don't want that, do you? Performance. Improved client performance when viewing a nuke explosion. Okay, I can see why that would be an issue, and so happy you're addressing it. Performance. Fixed an issue where reading a note would cause the background to freeze. Have I come across? I don't think I have. Of all the things I've come across, I don't think that's one of them. Performance. Increased performance in areas with a lot of scorched statues. Great. Also didn't know that was an issue. Delighted it's been fixed nonetheless. General. Systems. Fixed an issue where items could be duplicated. Cool, but sticks this time. PC controls. Resetting controls to default no longer causes most active prompts to become unusable. I have no idea what that's referring to, but delighted for our PC gamer community that has been resolved. PC controls. Fixed an issue when controls in the settings menu aren't updated when connecting or disconnecting a gamepad controller. Well, awesome. I mean, if you're going through the hassle of connecting a damn controller, make it work. Systems. System. Fixed an issue that allowed armor mods to reduce carry weight past intended values. Getting some deja vu there. I thought that one was addressed. Systems. Rads will no longer completely be removed when by dying repeatedly. I honestly didn't know that was a thing either. Wow. Systems. Addresses an issue where players could load into geometry after fast travel. Not something I've experienced, but definitely something I've heard about. Systems. Fixed an issue where bashing an enemy with the railway rifle or crossbow would add the projectile to the enemy's inventory. Oh, it's pretty cool. I wish I knew that had existed. Arts and graphics. Animations. Lever action rifle now only reloads the correct number of ammo. Nice. Effects. Consumed berry mentats now correctly show purple glowing. I didn't know it was supposed to show those. Actually looking forward to trying that one out. Right, we got a lot coming up now under camps, workshops, and crafting. So with crafting, level 25 armor and above now requires ballistic fiber to craft. Damn. Repairing. Component quantities required to repair mid to high level armor and weapons have been reduced up to 20%. Yay! So the dev note here is repair costs scale with level, and there's room to reduce costs at higher levels. Under crafting, ballistic fiber becomes required for armor at level 25 instead of previously at level 20. Updated bulk acid crafting recipe to require 15 acid. I don't know what it was previously. Was it 10 then? Fixed an issue that prevented players with the correctly equipped perk cards from being able to craft antibiotics and disease cure. That's Savage Divide. Cool. I don't craft enough of those who have really paid much attention to that, but awesome. Crafting. Hardened mass will no longer be scrapped when scrap all junk is selected. Awesome. Thank you. I was one of the people shouting for this one. That was soul destroying. To spend time in the nuke zone, getting everything you needed and scooping up those hardened masses, and then back at your base or whatever, you hit scrap all for junk, and just as it completes, you're like, no, I don't have any hardened mass. I have to do it again. So that's awesome. Repairing. Overall repair costs have been lowered for both weapons and armor. That is good news. Crafting. Ballistic fiber also is now required for repairing armor at level 25 and above instead of previously at level 20. There's a lot of stuff about ballistic fiber in here. Workshops. Fixed issues where enemies at some workshop locations would spawn underground, making the workshops unclaimable. Yeah, I have been subjected to that time after time after time. Still on workshops, fixed an issue where objects in workshops would sometimes float in the air when the workshop menu was closed. Haven't come across that personally. Workshops. Destroying the hay feeder along with the fertilizer collector will no longer prevent them from being repaired. I don't think I've ever used a fertilizer collector. Camp workshops. Placing power armor workbenches on foundation will no longer cause them to place on the floor or ceiling above. Oh, this was so frustrating trying to get my power armor in. Eventually, what I did is I removed the roof. That's how I had to get it in, and then built the roof afterwards. So yeah, I'm glad that works now. Staying on camp workshops, fixed an issue that would cause a not supported error when attempting to place a tall or short post under a roof. I don't think I've ever tried to place a short or tall pole under a roof, but now I can. Blueprints. Fixed an issue with the cost of wires not been factored in when storing blueprints. Why? Crafting. Fixed an issue where certain objects aren't available to be scrapped through the stored tab. I didn't know that was a thing. Workshops. Fixed an issue where certain stored items obtained from claiming a public workshop can't be placed again. I claim a lot of public workshops. I've never had that happen, nor would I want it to happen, so brilliant. Crafting. Fixed a visual issue with scrapping items in crafting menus. There was a visual issue? Fixed an issue where mods cost less steel than what's displayed in crafting menus. Mods cost... Okay, not an issue I've come across either. Sorry, not an issue I've noticed. Crafting. Fixed a display issue where incorrect number of junk items can appear in crafting menus. Again, not something I've noticed, but no doubt something I've suffered from. Challenges. Daily challenges. Fixed several daily challenges that were not being offered on some days. Great. Fixed an issue that prevented some wildflowers from incrementing in the Pick Wildflowers daily challenge. Weekly challenge. Fixed an issue that caused the weekly challenge complete quests and events in a group while at night, work during the day, and only recognize events. It will now look for quests and events that are completed at night. Weekly challenge. Edited the description of a weekly challenge to correctly reflect the direction. I don't know what that means. Sub-challenge. Fixed an issue that prevented certain photo mode challenges from completing as expected. Fixed an issue that prevented certain bobblehead challenges from completing as expected. Fixed an issue that caused the challenge to be marked as complete incorrectly. And on lifetime challenges, fixed an issue where some lifetime challenges would revert progress after logging out. I don't know if I'm a victim of that or not either. Enemies. Robots. Fixed an issue that would cause robots to respawn too frequently in White Springs. Yeah, while I've never witnessed this personally, I've seen some amazing footage. Some pretty good stuff. Scorched. Fixed an issue where Wasteland Whisperer could affect Scorched. Wasteland Whisperer can no longer be used to pacify Scorched. Shooting a Scorched in the leg will no longer break their weapon, causing them to not attack the player. Fixed an issue where Scorched may be using invisible weapons or not appearing to fire their weapon correctly. I have experienced an issue where Scorched were just invisible completely and chasing me across the map. Fixed an issue that caused floating debris and disassembled guns to appear in Scorched hands when killed. Didn't notice that. Items. Fixed an issue that would sometimes cause plasma weapons, flamers, and flamer mods, and weapons with explosive bullet mods to not do damage to other players and creatures. I was full sure that had already been addressed from the previous patch in December, but okay, if there's still an ongoing issue, fantastic. I haven't experienced it with my explosive shoddy or my explosive handmade, but I haven't used any plasma or flamers. Fixed an issue that would cause players exiting power armor to sometimes appear stretched and unable to re-enter the power armor. Thank God I haven't suffered that one. Address several issues that would prevent players from exiting power armor and at times cause the Pip-Boy to become unavailable. That's happened to me. Oh, that's happened to me. Thanks, Bethesda. Weapons. Fixed an issue that prevented the Gauss rifle from being identified as a rifle. Now, rifle-related perks can be applied. Cool. Ammo vending machines. Fixed an issue where some ammo vending machines were only selling repair components. I've never used an ammo vending machine this entire game, but that's funny. Weapons. Legendary hunting rifles will now drop as loot. Awesome. That's something I do not have in my arsenal, is some legendary hunting rifles. So I'm absolutely looking forward to having a good reason to getting back out there and farming again. Weapons. Fixed an issue where the walking cane provided as many resources when scrapped as it costs to craft. Who's crafting walking canes? Armor. Fixed an issue where some pocketed chest pieces were resetting players back to their base carry weight upon logging back into the game. Yeah, I've heard of that one. You kind of gotta unequip it, log out of the game, log back into the game, then re-equip it. That's frustrating, and I'm glad it is being addressed. Fixed an issue where players can leave behind an unusable chassis after exiting power armor. Oh my god, I'm seeing these things like everywhere. So, kudos. Magazine. Consuming Scout's Life 6 magazine now correctly depletes food and water stats at a slower rate. I don't think I've ever consumed a Scout's Life 6 magazine. I should really start hunting them. I might do a video on their locations if I can find them. Weapons. The M79 grenade launcher is now considered an explosive weapon in perks instead of being incorrectly considered a shotgun. Well, that makes sense, but I know that's also going to upset a lot of the community who actually went and put together some really solid shotgun builds using the M79 as their primary. That was like the whole point of the build, was the beauty of its combination with the M79. At the same time, of course, I get that it should fall under explosive and not shotgun, but yeah. Fusion cores. Fixed an issue where fusion core generators were producing cores at a slower rate than intended. They are now back to 8 cores an hour. Well, hang on. Was that an issue? I thought you guys slowed it down intentionally. Well, okay, so we're at 8 an hour now? I guess that's not too bad. Magazine. Fixed the Blackwoodsman 2 magazine to appropriately boost tomahawk damage. Marlark eggs. Harvesting the eggs will not result in 2 separate eggs. Awesome. Weapons. Fixed an issue where several combat rifle automatic receiver mods were prevented from receiving automatic rifle perk bonuses. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good job. Fixed an issue where multiple weapons could be equipped at the same time? Oh, wow. I wish I'd known about that issue. The vampire weapon mod effect now works only when hitting living targets as intended. As opposed to what? What were people hitting that were not living targets? Like what? Hitting a tree? A base? Let me know in the comments, guys, if you know. Armor. Fixed an issue where power armor parts would display on top of previously equipped parts. Never came across it. Delighted it's fixed. Weapons. Fixed an issue where bashing an enemy with certain weapons would add the projectile to the enemy's inventory. That's kind of like earlier against players as well. Well, it's been fixed. That's great news. Armor. Fusion cores will no longer replenish to full charge upon joining another world. Aww. Quests and events. Get the supply drop. So get the supply drop event will now remove holotape once used with supply crate belonging to the player that requested the supply drop. Cool. Quest. Daily missile silo quest rewards are now correctly obtainable only once per day. Line in the sand. Fixed an issue with the quest Line in the Sand, where the sonic generator already being repaired prevented the player from completing the quest. The event will now progress to the next stage if the sonic generator is already repaired when the event begins. Recruitment blues. Fixed an issue with the objective Find Junk Mail that prevented players who switched worlds from completing the quest. I honestly did not know that was an issue. I've gone through it, all the comments actually, on my Recruitment Blues video, and I haven't seen anyone report that either. But it's fixed, it's fixed, it's fixed. Second helpings. The following location map markers are now available after finishing second helpings. Cool. Perks. The All Night Long now decreases hunger and thirst growth at night. Overdrive. Fixed an issue where overdrive was not increasing critical chance percentage properly. Quack Surgeon no longer allows for reviving hostile players. Aww. Strange in Numbers. Strange in Numbers effects now scale properly with multiple teammates, with and without mutations. I didn't know it wasn't, and I've been using that. We should see some drastic improvement in my gameplay going forward. Refractor. Fixed an error where each rank of Refractor is doubling energy resistance instead of adding plus 20 as indicated on the perk card description. Fireproof now reduces explosion and flame attack damage by 15% per rank. Excellent. Happy Camper. Happy Camper now functions correctly whether the player is inside or outside of the camp when the perk conditions are refreshed. Butcher's Bounty. Fixed an issue that allowed for the Butcher's Bounty perk to trigger again on an already searched creature. Homebody. The Homebody perk now works as intended when at a claimed public workshop. The party boy and girl now affects active alcohol effects on the player. PvP. Teams. Teamed players can no longer unfairly block an attacking player when that player attempts to overtake a workshop. Your teammate will enter PvP with the attacking player. I did not come across that as an issue, but I can see why that would be an issue, so Digi supports this change. Turrets. Turrets at workshops will now attack players the workshop owner is engaged in PvP with. Finally, thank you! That was a badly needed change, especially if you're going to encourage us, the players, to put some thought and effort into a workshop and not just slap down things to get the most out of it quickly with no defense in mind. The whole point is, if I engage with you at a workshop, this is my territory. In all effect, it's my base. So yes, the base should be helping me out with that. And once that comes true, I'm looking forward to kind of messing around with a few new designs and see how I can best support myself for these encounters. Which just, if you ask me, they don't happen enough as it is. I can claim workshops all over a map. No one comes to take them. I go and claim someone else's, not because I need the workshop, but I just want to have a bit of fun in the game, and no one comes to defend it, and so there you go, I have a workshop, yay. Social. Systems. Blocking a player now also mutes their proximity chat. Trade. Fixed an issue where players could view another player's inventory before they can respond to the trade invite. I did not know that was a thing. I knew that there was some kind of exploit going around somewhere that if you opened a trade with someone, they might have been able to take your weapons. I didn't know that someone could actually view my inventory without me even accepting the trade invite. That explains why everyone keeps running up to me. If you look at some videos I'll be putting out, I guess, the early next week, from footage I've captured this week, yeah, nearly every time I encounter people, they're just running up to me. Trade. Trade. We no longer let trades occur before the requested player has consented to the trade. Fixed an issue where the stash transfer menu would appear empty after previously trading with another player. Stimpaks with the price value set to 0 will no longer prompt use in the trade menu instead of accept. Again, didn't know that was an issue, but that shouldn't have been an issue to begin with, so awesome. And finally, in trade, the caps limit for player-to-player trades has been increased from 5,000 to 25,000. Is 25,000 the total amount of caps you can carry? I think I've never gone beyond 5,000. I'd one day like to hit that cap. Sound. Fixed an issue where voice chat would not always function properly upon exiting the Atomic Shop. Fixed an issue where some Atomic Shop content was missing sound effects. And Waving Santa sound effect will now only play when in on state. User interface. Under general, players no longer will receive a pop-up for the Atomic Shop when respawning for the first time. Great. PC resolution. Perk pack opening screen now extends to the edge on 21.9 monitors. Awesome. Atomic Shop. Players in the Atomic Shop, when the Atomic Shop is taken offline, will now be notified and taken back to the main menu. What used to happen previously then? PC. So FOV. Fixed an issue. Scoped weapon zooming incorrectly. Awesome. PvP. Fixed an issue where the PvP prompt would appear repeatedly while the same players engaged in combat with each other. Haven't encountered that one either, but glad to know it's been addressed. So guys, as you can see, this upcoming patch, I say upcoming, already running and rolling on PC, is going to implement a lot of changes for the better, in my opinion. There's 2 or 3 of those I would put a big sad face on. There's 1 or 2 I would put a little sad face on. But for the most part, quite happy with what is being said here. But of course, it remains to be seen how effective these will actually be. I look forward to maybe checking out some streamers on PC later on tonight or tomorrow to get a feel for how things are looking. But I'm excited for this update. I will say it. So, what about you guys? Anything there that would score a big smiley face or a small smiley face or a sad face? Let me know in the comments. Sound off. I'm really looking forward to this, and again, only 4 gigabytes. Pretty happy with that. Overall, a great result. Guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked this video or found it any bit useful, please do hit that like button and like the video. If you're not already subscribed, consider a subscription. Look, hey, if you don't like my content, you can always hit that unsubscribe button. We won't hold that against you. Thank you as always, and until next time, take it easy. All the best.